Nemo's Arcade.
And you know, I instead play whack-a-mole.
I'm getting ready to attack. Fanny pack attached. Tokens are all stacked. Got the mallet in my grasp. Waiting for the moles, hiding in their holes. Score, we're keeping tally. I'll be playing till they close now. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. I'm a mallet master, a single-fisted blaster. You can ask my baby, it starts slow then gets faster. I'm a record setter.
What's up, gang? I picked up a new game. This is going to be our next project. We're going to work on them simultaneous, though. That way we don't get stuck just always working on Kangaroo and kind of getting everybody a little sick of it and bored, tired of looking at it. I'm tired of making thumbnails for the same game anyway. But picked this up. It's kind of got a similar story. It was also sort of abandoned. Its owner passed away, and the inheritance just left it in the house and sold the house as is. And I got it from the guy who bought the house, so who's actually a friend of mine. And it's a Gottlieb touchdown. It was made in 1984. I think the production run on this one was 750 games, which to me, that doesn't seem like very many, but at the time, I think that was kind of on the low end of normal for them. Let's go ahead and get a little closer. That way I can see what you're looking at anyway. I'm going to go ahead and pause here and stick around. But I do want to say, like I said, this game was abandoned too. This one was abandoned. This one's in much better shape. So we're going to go ahead and do kind of the same thing. Since I own this one, just like I own that one, the video series will be similar. There's not going to be any rush. There's not going to be any money restraints, no budget restrictions or anything from it belonging to someone else. So we'll go through and do everything the proper way. So it should be fun. Mike, who films videos with me, he's already interested in it, of course, but he wants me to retheme it for the Kansas City Chiefs. So there is a buyer potentially, but I don't know, it looks kind of fun. Some of the rubber's melted onto the play field, but we'll pull this off and get a good look here in a second. Stick around. Okay. So I wouldn't say this thing is home use only, but these people owned the pet store here in town, and it's a small town, and there's parts of the machine that look brand new on the play field, and then there's other parts that are just beat to hell. Definitely got played a lot, but it's, I would say, better condition than most routed games. It's really, really dirty in through here. I don't know if I can get this light a little brighter. Plastics all look good. Like in here, this all looks like brand new. And then once you get out in, of course, the center of the playfield and stuff, that's pretty rough. And designed by John Trudeau. I did not know that until I started looking at it. I did find the rule set for the game here in the inside. See if I can get it to focus. Oop. Get out of there. There we go. Let's just get it in focus myself. There we go. But basically, you get yardage, and then you can set up passes by hitting these switches here on the right and left. Those they're not drop targets; they're just targets. You hit those that say pass, and then you light up which spinner you want here, left or right, and then the lights should tell you. And you hit it through the spinner, and then that will advance the yardage for your pass. It goes by faster than it would normally. And look at this. I don't know, has anybody ever seen this? I guess the rubber's melted. I've never seen rubbers melt like that before. It happened back here on this part of the cab too. And it's really bad right there. But other than that, let's see, there was, from these kickouts here, we have a little bit of damage there, and then a little more there. But yeah, you see how filthy this thing is. To me, it kind of looks like it got set up and then maybe never was opened again. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong way. The glass was almost stuck in there, which I've seen before because of soda and everything spilt in it. But this didn't have any spilled soda really. It was all just heat and age. And it looks pretty good. I don't know about re-theming it though, because it's kind of red, yellow, and blue. You're not going to really get away with making this home team Chiefs colors here, so it throws the whole thing off. And I don't think you want to root for the other team on your Chiefs machine, so you'd have to do a whole new back glass. But you could do like little things like, maybe put a sticker here across here that said Kansas City, and you can put little Chiefs helmets on these or something. There's some little things you could do. Could do this, get some different side rails, which that's another thing. Let's see if I can catch this in the light. These side rails are really different. And I don't have any reason to believe that that's not factory, because it looks like it. That's wild. I've never seen that before. Or I probably have, it just didn't notice it. But yeah, you could get side rails and stuff powder coated, whatever colors you want. But is this the title that you do that on? But it looks pretty good. But the situation that we were in, I'm working kind of overnights right now, and I'm really hit or miss if you can catch me awake or asleep. So, and it's not even really my job. I'm just helping Robin's company out until they get somebody to fill in again. But he's a mechanic and he works all weekend, and then I got to work overnights all weekend. And I didn't want to wait any longer because I'm going to go to Kansas in like 2 weeks. So I wanted to get this started, get some more going on Kangaroo over there, because I wanted to work on the cabinet, and it's all back together. But it is working, though. That's good. But we should be able to rotate videos on the two of these, and then we'll hop out to Kansas and do some tons and tons of repairs. The arcade bought the warehouse, so what I do out there is all one location now. So I'm going to have to go through, I'll put a little picture over here for those of you that don't know. I'm going to have to go through all the games and kind of inventory what we have, what we need, what works, what doesn't work. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a arcade repair frenzy video series again for sure. But anyway, so I didn't want to wait around and end up missing out on the machine, because around here, if you don't pick up a pinball machine when you're say you're going to, and you're like, you put it off to the weekend, that sucker's gone within 40 minutes. There's just vultures everywhere around here. They will offer their firstborn child to get it from you. So this is, it came home in the car, and some of you may have seen me post pictures of that. And, I took the head off. I didn't mean to hit that at all. I took the head off, and this is a Gottlieb System 80A, I believe. There's no disconnect on that harness, so you have to just take everything off of the boards and out of the back box and poke it down through if you want to remove it. Normally you would just fold it down, but putting it in the back seat of a car, we had a lot of back seat, but not for a back box on top of it. So it went in, it fit like just perfectly, like front to back. Got it in there, no problem, and I was amazed. But yeah, put the back box in the trunk, but now I have to still feed the wiring back up through, which doesn't really matter, because before I do this, I want to test all the wiring. These Gottliebs have problems with there's a grounding mod you need to do because of the way they were initially wired, and then they also have really odd pins, and the headers on them are round, and we'd rather get some square pins and square headers on there for better connection. And so there's a lot to do on this one. We will get to the point where we'll just fake it to make it and see if we can get it to play. Once we can get it to play, we can screw around with it for a little while. Then I'll actually get down to business, and we'll start doing everything that needs to be done to it for real. Because even though it's like the kangaroo, like not many people probably know touchdown. I don't, not for, and it's kind of just a generic name to me, football, pinball. But I'm going to get to know it real well since it's sitting here for us to do videos on. There's been too long where I was dying to do any kind of video and just didn't have anything to film on. So here we go. We got 2 games, and I'm going to film the shit out of these 2 games in between our regular stuff and going to Kansas and doing all that stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Stick around. I'm going to start, and I'm going to clean this play field up a little bit. And then, like I was saying, I don't know if I'm going to get this off of here today. So if you guys have seen this this crap on here melted off like that before, and you know an easy way to get it off without tearing shit up, let me know. I was thinking, that maybe the heat gun on fairly low and get it pliable, maybe kind of cart it off of there somehow. But yeah, I just want to give it I'm not shopping it out by any means. I just want to clean it up real quick, wipe its ass. Let's see what it looks like. How pretty is it? I think it's going to look really pretty with minimal work. But that's what I'm going to start with. And then I'm going to put the, off camera, I'm going to put the wiring all back up in the back box. And then there's a few Jethro fixes, as I call them. A Jethro fix is somebody who's not even a hobbyist or an enthusiast who attempts repairs for a buddy over a 6-pack. There's a few of those, so I want to get through there and undo those. And once I undo those, then we can probably figure out what was originally wrong with it, which I personally think was probably like not a solenoid, a transistor that was driving a solenoid for one of the flippers or one of the banks that it's in. I think that was what originally caused it, because there's definitely a Jethro fix on that flipper in there. And it does do something. It doesn't come up with just general illumination. From what I've seen, there's no alkaline damage on the boards, no trace of it. I just think that maybe some of the wiring is a little wacko, and it looks like there's a diode burnt out on the power supply board. So there's plenty of stuff to look at and plenty of stuff to fix and work on this one, so it should be interesting. But give me a second, I'll get set up, and then I'm just going to clean a little spot for us to look at and compare. And be right back. I think it looks a little bit better. It's not perfect by any means. I just kind of wiped it down a little bit. I wiped the whole cabinet down, actually. But this was on the inside. So usually, you have your instruction manual or service manual, any kind of schematics that give you maybe, if you're lucky, some plastics, a little goodie bag. But the manual's in here with schematics, which is going to come in super handy. And it's like brand new. Everything was in here and pretty new. There's the anti-static bag. There's a little goodie bag with some fuses, coil sleeve. We have like those scorecards and stuff. What else is in here? I think that's it. Basically, that's it. But I don't know if you've ever tried to read schematics off the internet. That stuff is like, you can actually see what it says. A lot of times it looks like it's handwritten, and it is online. This one doesn't have any good notes like that in it. But first thing I do, same thing I always do, I start at power. So we have the AC power coming into the game from the wall, and then usually we hit some fuses. So that's where I'm starting at. And I already did this, of course. Let me back you up and over here for just a second. There we go. So I think I know what's wrong with it, and I'll go through kind of my steps of how I went about diagnosing it, and then we'll see if I'm right. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't do a whole lot of legwork yet. But no, that isn't gonna really work. I'm gonna have to take you over where I was. This will work. See what I'm talking about at least. So here's our fuse bank off of the transformer block, and let me get one of these lights. That'll help. Okay, so you can see I have these 2 fuses here lifted up. Both of those tested bad. And let's see if we can see what they say on them right here. Let's see if I can tell which one is the top and which one is the bottom. Okay, so it looks like this is fuse 2, right? Fuse 2 is a 5 amp slow blow. And then what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's a 10 amp normal. So I was looking in the manual, and one of them looked like it was from the solenoids, and one of them looked like it was general power, but I was looking at it upside down, so I'm not sure exactly where those come from. I still think I'm right. I just didn't connect the dots all the way yet. I do want to, while we're in here, just kind of show you how nice and clean it is in here, because you've seen what the kangaroo look like, and usually when I'm in here digging in some games, they are just gross. But this one's actually really, really nice compared to everything else. But that gets me to right here, and what I call a Jethro fix. So we're gonna come back to this. I think this was a secondary problem caused by the first problem. And then the Jethro fix here, where they had 2 lugs on a solenoid that had wiring for 3 for a flipper. And so they did this really weird roundabout way where they were just trying to attach 2 to 1, 2 to 1. Which 2 can we mix to make 1 so that we don't need a 3rd lug? And I think that blew the fuses in the bottom of the cabinet. But give me 1 second here, and I will open up. Oh, I don't really need that. We can just open it up. But I'll show you where I think the original problem was. There's also some fuses on the bottom of the playfield towards the back box. Those tested good, though. Fuse 2 was from the general power supply, so that one was still right. But I don't know which one exactly was the solenoids. But I can see the way that they were trying their wiring that was going to blow a fuse. And if my calculations are correct here, if this problem here would have blown the fuse originally, they wouldn't have been working on the flipper board, or the flipper board. They would have been working on the flipper solenoid at all, because the game wouldn't have worked. Okay, so let me back us out a little bit. And where are we at? Right there. Okay. I have to get us some light on it. I have to raise you up a little bit too. Oh, that's some good jerking around. Okay, that's why I wanted to stop the camera. And let me move this light. Probably get this a little better. A little better. So, not much better, huh? Why isn't that? That should be better. Let me go. I'll just go freehanded because I need to get up a little closer. So I think and it may not be in this exact order. This is just theory. I think this diode here went bad and then caused this transistor to go bad. It could have been the other way around, not necessarily that way, and could have this cap in the mix somehow. But I have a feeling that this went bad and then it shorted this, which caused some juice to go back through the driver board into the flipper, and then it caused, I think, the flipper to lock on because they have the old solenoid in the bottom of the cabinet and it is locked up. So I think it locked the solenoid on and then eventually kind of fried out and possibly blew one of the fuses. And then they came in trying to fix with the second piece, and then that's where we had the disaster. And the machine actually still comes on and it's trying to work, but I don't think it's getting proper voltage from this thing because of this guy. So before I, try to put any power to it or anything, I'm gonna take this off. They do sell a rebuild kit for this, but I probably have most of this already. I don't know about that chip there. I'm sure I probably have the diodes and stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild that, and then we can hook it up without anything else, just this plugged in, and then we can see if our LEDs come on for the proper voltage. We can touch these test points and stuff. That way, before we hook our MPU in, we know we have proper voltage going to it. Now I do have to make sure if it runs fine with no load, and we may have to have it under load and might have to put a dummy board on it or something. I'm not sure. Usually I don't. Usually you can just run the power supply and test the voltages, but we'll see. I'll figure that out before we get there. I think that's really I'm gonna end it there because I need to get something up on this. And the next step is going to be probably ordering parts. Like I may do a video where I rebuild that. That would be one video by itself probably, and testing it and figuring that out. But this is our new project. Let me know what you guys think. We haven't done a pinball project. We've done a few, pinball jobs on Mike's stuff over at his house, and of course, I always do pinball work on the side, but we haven't had one. I don't think I've had any of my personal pins on the channel. Maybe Harlem Globetrotters back in the day. There's let's see if I can show you. You can see we're just trying to clean it. The white was coming off. It was already doing this, but I'm sure I took it off more. But you see that gunk that's on there? Most of this is just the little ball dimple things, but there's some like black gunk on there. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like it was over spray or something, but it's like pencil eraser. I don't, it's hard to describe. It's really odd. But that's, other than that, these ball marks, you just can't do anything about that. I even threw a little bit of spray wax on here just to see if it would make the colors look any better. And it really did on the blue, but that green is pretty rough. It's not rough. I just mean the ball marks are doing some work on it as far as in the white here, as far as showing the original color. It's not a big deal. This is a bigger deal, and I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. Like I said, I think I'm gonna try the heat gun. Oh, it'll crumble off of there. So maybe I can just be real easy and come through, and I just don't want to take any paint off with it. Looks like there's some coming off right there. Bummer. Because this is everywhere. It's all over all of these. And these things are, it's like, oh, it is moving a little bit. I was like, it's rock solid. We didn't even know what this was at first. We were looking at it like, what is this? But I'm pretty sure it's the rubber melted off. So it looks like the post is actually clear. And then if I take you over on this side, yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that sucker. That's nasty. Oh yeah, it's on these big time. I've never seen that. I wonder if it was just that one manufacturer, or maybe somebody painted them or something, make them look better. I don't know. But yeah, it's not a home use only. I just think it's kind of low plays for an 84, or what I expected anyway. But I think that could just be our town. It's just not a high. I mean, look, you can look at it. It got played a lot, but it just didn't get destroyed, which is kind of good, I guess. But I'm kind of thinking about maybe I want to keep this. I have to play it and see if I even like it. But I like how we know kind of some of the history of it, and you know where it was, and now kind of what happened to it, and why it ended up stuck there. But it ended up at my house, so that's pretty cool. But stay tuned. We're going to work on more on this. Like I said, we're going to go all the way through it. These boards are, I don't know how to describe this really fast, but they're basically, the boards are grounded by daisy chain from each one. And we're going to do something where we ground it to a central place. Like this one's got a board on there. I wonder if that's normal. But yeah, do something like that where you can screw your board down and ground it that way too. There's a way to do it, and somebody's got, 100 people got videos on how to do that. And the other thing is these pins, these header pins. I don't know if this has been done. They're saying that they were round. These, I don't know if they really look round. They're saying you put square header pins and square crimp pins, or square headers and square pins, so that you get a better connection rather than a square on a round, which that makes sense. And the first thing it says in that repair guide on PinWiki is connectors, connectors, connectors. I've read it multiple times, so I knew when this was headed to the house that this was going to be a bear. Would pretty much need to repin all the connectors, clean all your edge connectors up, repin all the connectors, and what else? Oh, and do all the headers again on the spot where it's not edge connectors. That's to like really, really bulletproof it. And then this, I think, is a reset board, which there's a little mod where you don't need that. So we'll get it all figured out. Everything's here. I don't think we're missing anything. So I really think that we swap the fuses and get this fixed out here. We might have a shot at rebuilding this. We might have a shot of it playing. It just depends on if this Jethro fix here, how much damage they did with that, how many wires they tried around before it actually shut down on them. Or if we got lucky, they did the wrong wires right away and it blew the fuse and they weren't able to do anything else, and we'll be able to just hop in and play. But thanks for watching. Not a very long one today, but I just wanted to kind of get in and get my elbows dirty and get my elbows up in her and get dirty and find out what's wrong, or kind of get an idea. So at least I know some parts we can order, and I'm going to dig through it tonight and probably update you on the next video, or I might even film tonight if we can get enough going on it. But thanks for watching, and don't forget, we're going to be doing some Bondo on that one soon. Thanks for watching, guys. So these two right here are going to be ground and 5 volt. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is. A nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. And a pretty good deal on it, too.
Super hang on. Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
What happened? Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.